Hey there guys, Veronica here with you to hopefully make you happy with yet another grammar video. So this is for Phil Filachko and all the subscribers of his YouTube channel. And today I'd like to talk to you about something that might be a little bit tricky for the people whose languages differ from English in terms of making questions. So, questions. Most of you would probably go like, that's easy. But if you are a fluent English user, if you'd like to think of yourself as being upper intermediate, maybe even advanced, you have to know that there are types of questions and we do form them a bit differently. Of course, the basic one that everybody knows is a classic question, and the one where you have to use an auxiliary, a helper verb, to actually make your sentence a question. Say in Russian, we just change our intonation and an affirmative, a positive sentence becomes a question. Easy peasy. But in English, no. Yeah, so you probably have a question word, something like, I don't know, what, where, when, blah, 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 etc. Then there has to be a helper, a verb that helps you make this a question. Then there would be the subject, yeah, usually it's maybe, I don't know, you or a bus or something else. And then very often you'd have the action itself here. Then the rest of the question mark. So here we put an auxiliary depending on the tense you want to use. You guys know that, so it can be do for present simple. It can be have for present perfect. Yeah. Then here, of course, don't forget it's already the third form of the verb. It can be were if you're talking about past continuous, but then of course here it's the ing form. Well, the tenses are a separate topic in our separate videos if you're more interested in those. But also don't forget that the verb to be is a tricky one. If your question only involves the verb to be, probably you won't have this part. Yeah, so how are you today? Where were you yesterday? Don't need a verb here. But that's the basic rule. Okay, no props, with some practice, not that complex. However, there is a question word who, and in some cases even what, in fact, that you gotta be careful about. Because if who is the subject of your question, you don't do this whole thing, you just keep the sentence as it is in the positive form. So who killed J.F. Kennedy, for example? Because who is this part? It's the main subject of the sentence. In that case, this rule for the necessary auxiliary verb doesn't apply. The same thing if what is the subject. What has happened here? We reply using the same structure. Some crime has happened here. I don't know, a fire, a flood, whatever, yeah? But these two question words can also be used in these forms of questions where you go like, who do you live with? Because see, here you've got the subject and you've got the main action, therefore you need the helper. But it's also who, but different. Here, who is the subject? In this question, you is the main subject. And with what, yeah, the same. What will you watch in the cinema. Yeah, subject, main action, so we do need an auxiliary. So this is the first point where you really gotta be pretty careful. So the next important bit is that you can have very long questions, yeah? And for instance, I know that Russian learners, they tend to want to use the previous rule in every part of that complex question, but you cannot. In English, this question-making rule only works once at the very beginning. What I mean is that, for instance, you have, do you know where param param? And here, because we see the question word, you want to make a question again. So you want to go something like, do you know where can I find a bank? But you have the question form here, yeah, according to the rule. So even though we've got a question word right here, you can see it pretty well, afterwards it's just a simple affirmative structure. Where I can find a bank. But it's a question mark here, yeah? The second part of the sentence is not structured as a question here, yeah? Many other examples. I don't know. Have they told you when, not would they arrive, when they would arrive? Okay, the same thing. Well, this is actually a bit more about reported speech, reported questions. You can also check out our videos on that. And the third example, let's have something like really polite one. Could you tell me? The question is here. And after that, you can have whatever. How often? Yeah, which is a question phrase, but still, it'll be followed by a simple positive sentence. How often this bus leaves? No, do, does here, nothing. I don't know, the city. Yeah. What could be another really polite one? Would you mind saying why on earth you, I don't know, forgotten about me or something? Forgotten, blah, 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 blah. So the same over and over again. Remember, no matter how long your question is, even if there is a question word in the middle of it, the question structure only happens at the beginning. Obviously, make your own examples and you'll nail it, I guarantee. And the third type of questions, which I believe to be pretty useful at some points, something called tag questions. A tag is a little ending which implies that you're pretty sure about the answer you're gonna get, but it's polite to, I don't know, to ask just to play safe, or you wanna the person to confirm he agrees with you, whatever. So this is something like, oh, you've lived in Europe, haven't you? So you think you remember the person has done that. You're kind of sure about it, so it would be strange just asking, have you ever lived in Europe? You think you know that, but you need to confirm. So you start with a positive sentence, basically. And then there is a comma and you add a little negative bit at the end, or vice versa, doesn't matter. The rule is that it has to be like a battery. So if you've got a sentence in whatever grammar, use the same grammar right here, yeah? Let's go with a few examples. Simple. You'll help me. So we've got future here, will, and it's a positive one. So at the ending, we need a negative form of this grammar. Will in the negative is won't. Won't you? Different meaning than asking, will you help me? When you ask, will you help me, you don't know if the question is yes or no. Here it's something like a wife asking a husband, well, you'll help me, won't you? Like, you can't say no to that. You just are not capable. Yeah? The same with any other grammar. Let's do a negative one. She hasn't seen it yet. She hasn't seen something yet. I believe that's the truth, but I want to confirm. So it's negative here. We need a positive form here. She hasn't seen it yet. Has she? The meaning of this is something like, really? Really, really? Yeah? And let's have the third example. They were happy together before they broke up last week or something. Positive here, it's past simple. We need a negative. Weren't they? All right? Something that is not used that often maybe, but you can meet that, and I think you can definitely use it as well to make your speech more interesting, tiny bit more sophisticated maybe. So please create your own sentences like these ones, keep practicing, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.